man. I can't believe I'm regretting not watching more isekai anime. How the heck do I get back to the real world? Oh.
I don't know if I want to see it. I heard it was supposed to be really sad.
It's the greatest anime ever! There are these 9 countries, right? And each one of them has this super shiny giant crystal called a soul future. And because they have the soul futures, everyone in the world has like these perfect happy lives. But then these monsters called voids start eating all the soul futures. Wow! And if they get all 9 soul futures, then the great void appears and ends the world. So, one by one, the voids are scarfing them all up and everybody's freaking out. It's so wild! Anyway, that's when the best warriors from all 9 countries team up to protect the last soul futures. They're called the 9 Soldiers, which is just the coolest name. And they all fight really hard to save the world from the voids. But then Luke,
Fucking jokes.
Everyone I know is gonna die.
Not my fucking problem.
Is that all you got? Is that what you said when your world went to shit?
Come again.
Yeah, I heard all about you. And you screwed up everything. You should be thanking me for pulling you out of that bed you shit in. Oh, you backstabbing son of a bitch! Are you ready to be calm now?
Born under the moon, and its silvery light offered to the night sky, where I was born. The family gathered to welcome the newborn. His eyes open to the moon. I stare out at the sky. Born under a silver moon. It's curse closed within. Born under a silver moon. Its life burns my skin. Howling in the moonlight, screaming in the darkness, fearful of the wild ones, making the animals hide. Prowling in the night, like a long lost soul,
Welcome to the Monkey Show. Think I'm on my own for a little bit. Bit of a weird one today because wasn't supposed to be planning to do this because I didn't think we'd be seeing our Kickstarter approved within 3 hours on a Sunday night. Right? Let me just bring this up in case you guys like, why is that a blank screen? Because that's what you get when you try to be really cool with the setups here. So yeah, thank you for joining me. Hopefully my co-host will show up soon. If not, I'll change the screen to show it's just a monkey show. Wherever you are, welcome. Hopefully you can hear me and everything's working. Let me just check my sounds and all that. Yep, and my voice is horrible as always. So, yes, I set up, I think it was like on Friday night, after the last stream, right? I just set up this Kickstarter, I went through and, okay, well, I don't know if this is going to, if somebody else is going to brigade against this one either, or what's going to happen, because the last one, of course, let me just go back and show you guys before I move on to this. We actually had our campaign, people report on it for nudity, bigotry, pornography, and what else? All the buzzwords that will get you, minority, inclusivity, which kind of like pushed our campaign all the way to nowhere, right? Kind of like what people used to call shadow banning. Do people still call that? I mean, like, I don't know these buzzwords with online, even though I'm like online, I'm not in circles where I learn all these words. However, yeah, so I guess the last stream we did was three days ago. There was nothing, what they accused us of, and I was quite angry about that. And, because it's like, well, when as a creator, for me, like as a writer, right, in my stories, I don't go out of the way to force my ideology on it, because I'm quite a, I might come across as some sort of like guy who's like, bent over the top, politically, but I'm really, when it comes to my writing or anything, I just, the middle line, I'm not, in New Zealand, we aren't like left and right. We just like, yep, whatever day may be, whatever it is that day, right? And so I take every single character that I write about as my babies, like people say, oh, it's your babies, It's like when Star Wars, George Lucas said, oh, they're white slavers, they killed my baby or something like that. They enslaved my baby. But for me, it's I just kind of feel like they're part of me and they're very important. And I think any writer or creator worth their salt is going to feel the same way. And so I thought, well, okay, let's just, right away I went in and started writing up like a counter, what am I call it, to the cancellation. I said, hey, look, this is blah 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 blah, right? And then I was going to load up the PDF, got the PDF all ready to go because our work is finished, right? It's the one thing about our work when we put it out on Kickstarter or crowdfunding, wherever. When I say, because I'm the one who's running this studio, right? When I say it's finished, I really mean that. I say it's because it is finished, right? All the work is there. And so let's go to the base. Actually, let's go to story, right? So we've already spoken about this. If you've been on this channel, we did a launch for this about 30 days ago, right? With the so-called contentious element of the campaign, which was a tortoise, because we've had the tortoise, right? And I'll give you the link right now on Webtoons for about 10 months, 11 months now, because we've been working on this for a while. We're not like, just suddenly you go, okay, let's put up a Kickstarter or crowdfunding and take people's money and then never do anything. No, we've actually, we've been working on this for a couple of years now, because our guys work full-time, part-time projects, because they're artists. They're working artists. One of my guys, has been traveling Europe for the last 2 years, right? Working part-time over in Europe. And he's been like, we've been talking with him. You can watch the live streams with Tomas, right? He's the artist on this. And even yesterday, like, I was up on Zeph's, Christian Zepho's stream yesterday, because he was live. He's a friend that I know from a while back, internet friend, right? But I cast him as a guy pretty cool, because I spoke for I guess video chatted with him, right, off stream when we first met for about 2 hours, and just talked about comics and everything. So I think of him as as a friend. And so I was on there and I said, hey man, because I was in this chat, and I said, dude, we just had our thing cancelled because people brigaded against us. And I actually had AI look into it. I had Grok say, hey, can you go into my Kickstarter, look into my Kickstarter and see what was the contention there. And it came back and said, well, yeah, the only reason don't go to review it is if somebody actually sent in something that they found offensive. And I'm like, well, we did say it's an R18 book plus a mature reader book, and which was approved, by the way, right? It was approved because we didn't show anything in the actual. Let me show you the actual Kickstarter for that. And we're not going to. This isn't going to be a long stream. I was going to launch the stream today, but then I realized I was like, wait, just chill for a bit. You got all the time in the world right now, but because it was 5 o'clock in the morning, and I was getting tired. I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this, and I was like, yeah, well, yeah. Woke up, and about half an hour ago, 40 minutes ago, and thought, yeah, it's not really. Let's not rush this. We need a pre-launch. Let's do a pre-launch. If you can, please sign up. I would really appreciate it for the notification and all that. I'm really not really good at this sort of shit, and at promoting stuff. I can talk about it, because it's what I've done. It's my work. I can talk about that. But when it comes to like promoting, all I know is like, hey, put it out, on social media, go on channels, hopefully people will see it and they'll be interested in it. But the other way you can do it is like pay someone to do it, and then you don't know what they're going to do, right? Because there's always somebody wanting to do it, but they've never actually gone and looked at what you're doing, and they've never said, hey, send me a copy of the PDF, right? Or the digital file so I can read it, so I can get used to it. They never say that, right? And I found that like, well, I know the story better than anybody else, as do my artists. So we could basically talk about it better than anybody else, because it's what we're doing, what we're growing up with. We see the pages in front of us every single day as we're working on it, right? So this is the one that was suspended, as you can see here. And just before we, go into the actual HOWLER campaign, is that pre-launch? Is that we put out, the reason I put out a 2-in-1 campaign was that I wanted to save backers money. Because one of the contentions with me personally and other, I guess, backers is, because I'm a backer as well, right, is that when you buy, because our campaigns come out of America, right, it's a bit expensive to produce print comics here in New Zealand, and so most of the comic readers, right, are in America and Canada when it comes to what we're doing. However, I mean, when it comes to like, you know, color comics. However, when you do like, you know, with the tortoise, which by the way, like, as I mentioned before, if you're just joining us, is actually on Webtoons you can read, apart from a couple of pages because it didn't meet Webtoons, you know, standards, TOS. Even though we blanked it out, right? They didn't like it. So I was like, okay, well, we are going to put it in print, but we'll just do what we can with Webtoons and let, you know, promote our work. So this is one of two pages. Excuse me, I got a frog there. Apologies for the silence. It's just like my throat, you know, got a bit croaky. Right, so this is one of two pages we put up, right? Because we want to show that like it's about the two girls in their 20s, early 20s, 22, 21, 22, right? You got Kirsten and Amber, you know, you can see a bit more there. She's Amber's the main character with the black hair, and Kirsten here you can see with blonde, but she's got also every now and then she has pink hair, right? And this is the other image, right? That's it. That's all we showed of interior art, because all of it's on YouTube, right? I mean, sorry, we talk about it all the time on YouTube. And so, and as we, you know, we've been posting online social media for the last 2 years what we've been working on, because that's how long we've been working on this. We're already probably about 5 pages into issue 2 now, right? And this is work that Tomas had been doing while he was working overseas in Europe part-time, and then he'd go home after work, and on days he's able to, while he's got, you know, while his girlfriend at the time, now fiance, right, are shuffling like time together, right? Because I've been in a situation like Thomas, right? I a while back when I was at film school, about 2004 to 2006, I was shuffling 2-3 jobs. And so while I was shuffling 2-3 jobs, my ex would be like at full time at work, and then sometimes for a little bit there she was working nights, right? And so while I'm working nights, she's working nights, and then when I'm working days, she's, you know, like I would go to work after school, I would do my, or even I would get called in while I'm doing my studies in class. Hey, can you come in because somebody's sick? And I'm like, okay, I'm there, because I got bills to pay, and I don't want to be a poor student. I'm married, got a car bill, you know, just bought a car, or we're saving up to buy a car. We wanted to actually enjoy our life. They don't want to be just a poor student who just got drunk every other day, but we spent time working. And I really, when I look at Tomas over there, you know, when he was in Europe, he's back home in Argentina, but when he was over there in Europe, I just saw myself in him. Like, he was working his ass off on this work, just the way I was, you know. I was writing like about 450 pages of a TV show, right, that I was working on, 45 minute episodes, right, and an hour and a half pilots, which we haven't even touched on working on at the moment, because, you know, it's just something I haven't arrived at yet. And that work, even though we haven't even done that work yet, that work is the basis of the entire Plunge universe, and we haven't even started on that. So all these books that we're doing here is part of this ever-growing Plunge universe, right? There's only one title that we're working on currently, which I'm editing and lettering and producing, for, which isn't one of ours. It's called Valley of the Kings. And it's by an American artist, American writer creator, right? And that's a great book. I love that book. I only decided, because as an editor, I looked at it and I thought, well, this could be way, way cooler if you did this, and then let the writer, creator work it out how he wanted it. Taking, giving him some advice and just let him run with it. Man, he turned it around. It was so cool. So I'm excited for it. Now I'm going to bring in my co-host, and I don't know what I'm going to do to him today because I feel like he's a bit late. He needs an entrance that's going to be like something. I don't know. What should we do to him, chat? Shall we treat him with respect for being late, or what should we do? Ladies and gentlemen, my co-host.
Oh, okay. So you're saying I'm whiny. Okay, that's cool.
No, I'm
I
not.
didn't the message so late. I was like, what? And then like you've been on for 26 minutes. I'm like, what the hell?
I woke.
Yeah.
Sorry, carry on. Sorry to cut you off, mate.
I expected it like it'd be like just the scheduled, but I see it's been on. Like, what the? How did I miss that?
Yeah, so it's winter, and winter plays hell with my body because of my injuries and stuff, with my spine and neck injury, car accident, and all that. And so I woke up and I was like, I need another half hour, because I always wake up an hour before the stream, right? Because I work until I can't work, and I fall asleep. Yeah. And so I had 5 hours sleep, and I woke up after 5 hours, and then my body, I took my meds and my body was sore, so I went back to sleep. Then I woke up, half an hour, on time, and then it was like the body still feels sore. One side is just not, it's just aching, and I'm like, okay, half an hour more, okay, and then I'm like, no, I need another half an hour. So I changed the schedule. Like my alarm changed twice. But I changed the stream one time, like an extra half hour. Yeah. So that's why. Sorry for that, but yeah. It's been like that all weekend.
Yeah. So you got suspended by Kickstarter, and then you started another Kickstarter.
Yeah. Well, they because the whole thing about this was somebody reported on it, right? According to Grok, I had Grok go in and go, "Hey, Grok, what's going on with this?" Because even if you ask my artist, right, who's working on the second issue right now, that our book isn't anything they said it was, which is what really pissed me off, because it's like, this isn't a pornographic book, especially the tortoise, right? You can go and read it. It's like, it's nothing. And we don't even because it's got 2 lesbian leads, right? It's the only lesbian gay people in our entire Plunge universe, right? And so the last thing I'm going to do with that is treat them like shit, because they're human beings, and I felt like the fact that someone who would do that, I felt insulted, and it felt like egregious. It's like somebody just slapped me across the face, like accusing us of that, accusing the work that both me and Tomas did of that, because it's a 4-issue series that we're working on, so it's around about 150 pages of work once finally finished. So I thought, why not? I got really I started writing this whole letter of this is what this is about. What the hell is this going on? And then I thought, what? How about I just get out there, put a solo solo Howler, Howler campaign out, let's see how it goes. Just this is our teen plus book, and and that way, by when I say teen plus, it's an NZPG, which is like about 15, right? You can read this with your kids, and it's okay, but it's not dumbed down either, So it's the book's basically about a former monster hunter, right, who's on the run from her past,
Right.
and so you know about this, but I'm not sure if we've got new viewers or something. So just a bit of background, right? So she's on the run, been in hiding with her son, and Alicia's the name, Aurelia, and so they finally find her, in Australia, and then they run again, and then they come to New Zealand, right? And they set up a restaurant, cafe, and and Isaias falls in love with a local girl, right? Who's not really a local, but she's a migrant girl, because it's just that kind of story. But it's a mix of whatever. And that's why I felt even worse. It's like, oh, it's a bigot. It's like, well, fuck's sake, bro. It has bigotry. It's like, oh, what? It's like, dude, because New Zealand's very melting pot, right? So we wanted to work with different things. I wanted to tell a story that was like a bit more, did its thing. Because when you look at, we go with the tortoise, we go all the way to Indonesia, right? But in our world, we call it Indonesia, right? To make it a bit more worthy. And so, it's indigenous peoples and all that. So it was kind of like building this background to what we're doing. Now, let me flip over to the HOWLER campaign, and I would love for you guys to, hit the free launch, because that'll help us, when we launch, get the notification. I don't know how the mailing system works, man. I'm a useless person when it comes to Kickstarter. Sometimes, I don't know,
The other book you gotta send with them for free, like you send them the HOWLER book, and then the other book that would have been on that was on the previous campaign for free. So,
well, I would do that, but the thing here is that my my artist would miss out. So what I'm going to do is he asked me a question like just before I was going to bed, and I said I'm going to bed, and he asked the question, and I was like this morning, and I said whether we'd start a Kickstarter, solo Kickstarter just for tortoise. And once I put the what is that called, review or a counter, whatever, to it, hey, this wasn't right, that sort of thing. This is why to Kickstarter, I'll be able to figure out what their response is, right? Because look, it's manga art style. That's the thing about our work with the tortoise. It's manga art style, right? Western manga. So it's not trying to be something pornographic. It's not trying to treat people with disrespect, because all my characters in this world, it's a huge world, and we got 6 issues that we've got 6 different titles right now in the works, and it's and 7 that I'm working on alone, right? So these are, if it'll slow down this thing. So HOWLER, right? Fantastical Romy is supposed to right now go out on in about another month with Templeton. So I think what I'm going to do is now we're just going to run solos, because I think the idea that like mixing a teen book with a mature book is going to get them people brigading against us. So I'm just going to start doing solos. So we got about, this is the one I was talking about, like the what's it called, the Valley of the Kings. So we've got issue 2 of IncrediGirl, right? It's going to be coming out soon, because IncrediGirl was like our flagship Plunge Universe superhero all ages title, and so we've got, I'm trying to get all the lettering for the different languages, because with a let me bring this up a bit more. Oh, by the way, how was your weekend? Sorry, bro, I didn't ask that.
It was all right.
Yeah. Did you go to HeroesCon? Wasn't HeroesCon on this weekend?
It's not anywhere near me. I'm in Idaho.
Oh, right.
Yeah, there's a huge area that is the United States. So.
Oh, I know, but like, everybody's talking about it. They're like, you guys being in the same city would go.
I wish I was. I wish I could, but
yeah,
I'm not ready for the big conventions yet.
Yeah,
I'm just started, so I'm doing small conventions in my local area and working my way outward.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, talking about which, let me show you guys Tim's link tree, because Tim, like unlike me and many other indie creators, actually gets his book done, pays for it himself, and then puts it out on Amazon.
DIY, baby, DIY.
All right, and so I want to go there as well, that way as well. But we got to have our work done first, So do check out his link tree here, and his books. All the links are there. Sorry, bud. What?
Good news. I just sent in the remaining pages since, for Unseen Events, it went from a 44-page book to a 37-page book. I hope Sid gets well. But all the remaining pages have all been sent to get lettered, and hopefully that will be ready for after Retro X in June. So I can go and do a kind of a launch promoting thing at Rubaiyat's in Caldwell.
Nice.
So that would mean that once it's gone to publishing, the Critical Blast, what's up, RJ? It should be available on all the previous sites. I'm going to switch up the links because for some reason Melvin #2 is still not available in the U.S.
Okay.
I don't know why. It keeps saying it's out of print. So that makes no sense.
Okay. Right. So continuing with this. So this is the 7 titles that we're currently working on, right? Issue number 2 of Incredible here will be coming out soon through the Rising Sun Kickstarter page. Kickstarter, page, whatever you call it, profile. Howler, of course, we're putting that out now. Soon. We're going to launch it soon. It's got to figure out whether next week or this week or whatever. Just got to get everything sorted. Fantastical Romy, Teen Plus, Isekai, Fantasy World, Wizards and Mages and Dragons, Wyverns, young girl finds herself, teleported to another world, another version of New Zealand, full of castles, kings, queens, knights, and all that. Beastman. Templeton is an old class that is a hard R, horror, supernatural, demon, angels book. All 6 A covers, right? So issue 1, issue 2 to issue 6, A covers interlock. So unlike the main companies, right? The bigger companies, when they do interlocking covers, it's like a E, F, G, H cover, right? So you got to pay extra premium. But I wanted to do that interlocking cover for me because at the time when I was thinking about that, I just bought 4 interlocking covers for a DC book, and it was really cool. And I was like, why can't we do that for ours? But instead of doing a C cover or D cover or Z cover, let's just do an A cover. So if you buy the A cover, right, and this isn't it, sorry, this is a B cover, that I actually colored this myself. Actually, it's probably the first time I actually colored the actual cover myself. So, and sorry that's like so small, but let me zoom in if I can get in there. Yeah, that might be a bit better. But yeah, all the A covers interlock. So it's 6 A covers interlocked into a huge little, beautiful little piece. And I've seen the second issue. Second cover, I think. First cover's been done. Second cover, I got color flattered and stuff, and then sent off to my artist. And by the way, we're actually illustrating issue 3 right now of this. We haven't released issue 1, but we're completing issue 3. I'm color flatting, right? Laying down the, just the solid colors like this, right? For issue 2 right now. And then also same thing with this. Issue 2 of this is being colored, and I am editing issue 3 and issue 4. Actually, I haven't got to issue 4, but it's like the whole story's written for this completely, the arc and all that, step outline. But the artist Joachim, he's coloring issue 2 right now, and we haven't even released issue 1. So the deal is that we want to get everything before we go to Kickstarter or crowdfunding, right? We always 3 years ago I decided, I think it was 3 years ago, that going forth we will finish the book before we get launch it. Also with this book is completely completed, colored, everything. It's a 44-page book, I think, a 40-page book. It's in Portuguese, Spanish, and in English. So I've got to figure out the launch of that. And we did a pre like a couple of years ago. We launched it. Then nothing really happened with it. So I guess nobody knew who we were and whether Now, I guess with this channel and concentrating only on this channel, and promoting, spending all my past 3 years just on comic books and not getting distracted by running a comic convention on the side, right? Or helping other people run their comic conventions, right? And anime conventions, festivals. So all I'm doing right now is just comic books, and when I come on here and do live stream and promoting via social media. Of course, the Tortoise, you can read it now, right? Apart from a couple pages on Webtoons. Go check it out for yourself and see if it's, hateful, bigotry, or pornographic for yourself. Valley of the Kings, of course, this is with American creator writer Steve Samiti. Great guy. You guys will love him. We did do a announcement live stream of about this when we first started working on it. Great dude, paying for the first issue himself out of pocket, like ourselves, and like my co-host Tim. Issue number 1 of Incredico is already out, has been out for a couple of years. We've had this finished for a bit, but we're about to launch it. We've just been like making sure that everything kind of like when we launch, we able to kind of like do it at the same time so people are aware of it, and they just keep putting it. And the whole idea was that we'd work hard out for 3 years, 2 to 3 years, and just get as much done. And so when we release it, people can see that the work is finished. And that's the most important thing for me with Kickstarter, with crowdfunding, is that we are trusted, right? We're trusted as someone who will not abuse the backers' trust in us, right? We will not run away with your money. We will not start campaigns unless we have already sent the last one out. Now, I've given with this campaign, right? And the other thing here is, right, no artists were harmed in the creation of this. We only use humans to create our art and story. I know a lot of people have like a big whole, is it what, and I'm like, I'm very clear. I like to be honest about what we do. And it's something, I like being able to trust people, and I like people to be able to trust me, right? And I'm a kind of a golden rule guy, which is, do unto others what you want them to do to you. So now I do mention that, like, my pet project, or with a question mark, which is basically, it's in Hindi, it means what. It's kind of like pigeon Hindi. It's like a Fiji kind of Hindi, which is like what. That's why it's got the question mark there. It's like a double one, whatever. So yeah, the song that we have on the trailer, I wrote it, right? I actually wrote it. I sat down, wrote every lyric, every line, and chorus. So when you go to, hear it, I've actually got the entire thing on Bandcamp. So you can actually go to our Bandcamp, and there's about 6 versions of it on Bandcamp, because I wanted to see which one would work the best. And they all have their own little, not Bandcamp, sorry, SoundCloud. So it'll sound, so you could actually see what it's about, and different versions of the sound. I mean, like the music, and it's here. You can get on O Metal, and there's a link for it, right? When we launch, the link will be there as well. There's another one that there's a whole. I'm writing all the time, right? So I've probably got about 30, maybe 20 to 30 songs now, and playing around with that. So this is the Born Under a Silvery thing. So Silvery Moon. The song, it's kind of like kind of spoilerish for the comic book series, So if you might be able to pick up some things, but it's kind of, I wrote it in the way it's universal, and there are. No, that's not it. Where is the actual? Yeah, I don't know. So there we are. So you got 6. Yeah, you got 5 different versions of it. This is the 5 that I actually picked up. Was like going to be, that sounded to me like really cool. I kind of like this one because it's like a rock opera, but it also sounds bluesy. So I've left this one in as well. Is that cool or what, man? Like, and the thing here is I don't use any, like, with any prompts that say, well, make it sound like this band or that singer, because I just think that's kind of like ripping off artists. And so when I write the songs, I just go, well, melody, mystery, dramatic, adventurous, thrash metal, electronica, sludge, grunge, rock, whatever, something like that, or even the beat tempo, right? 45 BPM, 60 BPM, something like that. So yeah, and you don't want to hear much about that, but if you want to create something, the reason I'm talking about that is if you want to create something as a trailer music, because like, look, the reason I started doing that was because the royalty-free music that I was using kept getting hit by copyright. And so I thought, well, why not write my own music, right? So if you are putting out, Kickstarters, trailers, whatever you want to do, or even wanting, music, background music, like here, actually, I've got like my background music is all like, for us is all here. There's about 1, 2, what is that, like 13 songs here, right, that I've written and turned into like just background music for us to use when I'm working. So yeah, I think that's all I want to talk about this, and I'll show you some work and some rewards and stuff. And one of the things is, if I'll just drop out of here, do you want to share some of your work, Tim, while you're here? Because I mean, that's what we're talking about for today. Because I don't know much apart from this. There is an AI thing that I thought we could cover from Penguin Zero, and I just want to let you guys know that the first 25 backers will receive an add-on item, right, which is a 6x9. And the reason it's 6x9 is so that it can go inside your comic book, right? So it'll actually fit inside the comic book, and so it won't cost any extra for freight, right? Because usually if you have a big, huge poster, you either fold it up, which is kind of annoying because then it's like got creases in your folder, right? Or you roll it up, which is an extra cost. And so I try to make sure that everything we put out, you could put in a Gemini mailer, right? So the other thing is, this is a 36-page comic book with about, I think it's about 29 pages of art. Let me just bring up the actual, my bad. I shouldn't even have to do that because it's all here. We just show you under the story the entire a screenshot of the entire thing. Where are you? I think it's down at the bottom here. There. Am I still zoom? There we go. I'll zoom out a bit so you can see. That's the entire comic. All done. So 2, 4, 6. Hold on. It would probably be easier to go like that. So that's 10, 20, 23, 29 pages. So it's a 29 page. So it's 7 more pages than a normal mainstream comic book. Right? There's also a page of story giving you background to how we got to where we got to with this, right? Historical background. And then, of course, bit of info about what we're doing, and then just back cover and bit of an advertising for temperature number 1. And so if people try to like brigade on this like they did with the other one, it's like all the work's there. Look, everything's there. You can see it, right? Let me see if I can open up in a bigger screen. Yeah, look. Before I show Tim's work, let me just show you the entire work that's finished, right? Look at that. The beauty of actually bringing something completed to Kickstarter. And by the way, cover A, right, is a wraparound cover. And we are offering this as a full cover to only 5 people as part of a Silvery Moon foil bundle, right? Tier. And I was looking. Yep, you good? I see it.
Yeah. Oh, you sure? You see it?
Yeah.
Join it. Okay, so this is the fourth issue, which will be available pretty soon. And then they're going to take all the
Can
0 through 4, because the deal was get the story arc complete before they do a trade paperback.
Right.
And this is going to be the cover for the trade paperback. And then, of course, I have all these subplots I had to chip away from the first issue, and not because my ideas sometimes are always too big in my head to when I actually try to put them together. That it's like, how can I fit that in? So there's a bunch of subplot I had to do away with. So I'm gonna do a companion book for the first trade paperback of all the subplots and other parts of the story that I kind of had to cut down to fit 24 pages. So there's that. Oh wait, you know what I should do? I should also share. Oh, wait, let's see that.
Actually, I should share something that's yours that I see in my Discord. So
Yeah.
hopefully that's okay. Right. So he's been working on some. What are these called? Like, what cards are these?
Oh, I was gonna do a file card for the action figure that I'm gonna paint up, and I'm gonna do those. I'm gonna paint and stockpile a bunch of. See that needs to be painted, but
Yeah.
I thought after like next year just do a bunch of figurines. I think that would really kind of drag people to my booth.
Yeah, man. Like we've talked about this before. Like, it's such a cool way to step outside of just the book, right?
Yeah.
You know, stickers, cards, posters, anything that will attract people. You know, the reader to it.
Why can't it? You know, people. You know, like people used to use comic books in cartoons to attract people to the toy line they're putting out. Why can't since comic books are having trouble, kind of, at least the Western style comic books are having a little bit of trouble. Why can't they use action figures and whatnot and something else to attract people to the comic book?
Right.
So I was thinking about doing some action figures and whatnot. And then I think there's a website I can make like a statue or something, a little mini statue or something.
Hold on. I think I just saw that. Give me one
Yeah,
second.
I wouldn't be able to do very many of them, but I think I'd be able to do a few of them. Wouldn't that be cool as a kind of something to put on your desk?
I have quite a few statues.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes, you know, if I'm going around, I think the last one I actually bought might have been a Fallout one, or was it a Resident Evil? I can't remember. But gosh, no, I forgot. I buy so much stuff like all the time, but like because I pick up whatever I see like at op shops now, and so a lot of times I just say, oh yeah, you know, put it in my bag and go to the counter. Here it is, because they know me so well. I can walk around with a shopping bag and put stuff in the shopping bag, and then show up to the counter, right? If you had somebody else do that, it'll be like, this is the basket that you're supposed to carry around with, not a shopping bag, because sometimes people end up stealing. I actually got told to actually carry around my trolley bag because I'm an old dude who walks around with a cane, right? So in one hand I have a cane, and in the other hand I have a trolley bag like an old lady, right? You see, and I'm the only male that I know that walks around with one of those, because that's just the way it is. My body. So the guy came up to me and said, last year or so, you just been leaving it here at the counter. We don't want you to leave it at the counter because in case somebody walks away with it or grabs something out of it, and we don't want that responsibility. So you just carry around with it. Don't worry about it. We know you. We trust you, right? You come in here every week, you buy stuff, and we're good. And this is like a department store, like what you call your Barnes and Nobles, but maybe more like a Target across the books with like Legos and all that. So one of the really cool things we're doing is I actually talked my artist into Actually, I don't think I talked him into it, but I did work with him to release his art piece, right? Because I usually don't, with my artists, I don't, who don't work digitally, who work physically, I ask them to keep their work, because that way they could actually make extra later on by selling their work, right? Original art. Then they would, whatever, right? So I asked them, hey, would you put up your original work, because it's such a cool thing for that. And so we did the Isaiah's poster thing, and then he also did the White Wolf, which you'll see when we launch. I'll have my T-shirt on, and you will see my T-shirt that I made as a one-off item. Which in here we have done one-off item type thing. So like you'll only get 5 of these in the entire world, or wherever in the entire universe where creatures wear T-shirts, right? So that's the White Werewolf one. It's the only one with the logo in red, and it's going to be only 5 of these when we launch, right? And of course, there's also I think number 15, number 16, number 19, number 20 of the cards from this, because there's other cards we made, about another 4, and this is all to build up the Plunge Universe card set, which would probably be around about 100 to 200 cards in that pack when we finish. Of course, I showed you guys the panels here, and of all the work done. This is the Silvery Moon one, and that's another one where it's like only a certain amount available, because I want people to have like you don't want like 100,000 of people wearing the same friggin' T-shirt as you, right? Have you seen the one where the girl walks out, like the lady's walking down the street, and she sees this other lady wearing it, the same dress that she's got on, and it's like, cool, but it's like, damn, now that sucks. Somebody else got the same clothes as me. Maybe it looks better on her, whatever. But yeah, we're the stage in pop culture where it doesn't matter if you have like 1 million T-shirts the same. But I like some exclusivity. You got stickers, foil cover, right, with the White Werewolf. There's an actual trade name for them, and of course the wraparound A cover, right. As I mentioned earlier, there's going to be a special D cover foil and an A cover foil pack that you can get. Now, that is all I want to talk about on this. The pre-launch, please hit the notify button. I think Project Overview, is that where it is? Oh, I think I have to go to HOWLER. Oh, just in fishing about this, right? I sent it to them at about 7:50 or 7:43 yesterday, which is Sunday for us and Saturday for everybody, people in the northern hemisphere, right? So within 3 hours, I wasn't even checking my email, because I was like, oh, it's going to be back on the 21st, because they said to me in a response when I put the review in, oh, we'll get it back to you on Thursday, right, which is New Zealand time, right, which is 21st. So basically 4 days. I was just going to, it's going to take 4 days for them to approve it, but they approved it right away within 3 hours. I'm like, okay. Now, the weird thing would be like if somebody goes in there and goes, oh, you know what? We got him with the last one. We got the last one suspended. Let's try that one with this one. And I'm like, but it's a teen plus PG-13 book. How are you going to try it with that? Right? I don't know. Maybe somebody might. But yeah,
I mean, even though it doesn't have the reach as you want, Fund My Comic, they don't take down campaigns.
Well, I understand that, and I tried that with when I was going to put up my Robot Nation on there 3 years ago, and it took them forever to do the review, right? And I was like, it's just a simple teen plus book, right? And why is it taking forever to do the review? And when you have something like Kickstarter do it within 3 hours, you're like, okay.
Right, but then then they take down your campaign, and then sooner or later you can't use them anymore because.
Oh, sure, I understand that. Yeah, but by that time I'll probably be on pre-order, right? Which is what I'm building up to as well. So we get enough to where we get to pre-order. Like, I mean, look, Kickstarter isn't the be-all and end-all of PlungeComics, right? Because I want to be in libraries. People are like, I want to be in stores. I'm like, no, I want to be in libraries. I want to have my books picked up at schools, right? Kids picking it up from their library and from their public library. You know, I want to be there because I don't, comic stores is comic store. I want to have my book in the library where hundreds of people go to every single day, if not thousands, around, millions around the world, right? So I'm not restricted to a comic store. I want to be in the bookstore, right? So-called Barnes and Noble type thing, right? Here we have different names, Whitcoll's, Paper Plus, for us here. So I don't see the comic store as the be all and end all of a comic book. I see the library, and if you go to your local library, you'll see how much graphic novels and manga is in there right now compared to what it used to be. And while people say comic stores are dying, it's because they're dying due to the way the mainstream industry in America is treating their customers, which is the comic store first, right?
Well, I mean, people are so used to ordering stuff on. Oh, maybe not. Maybe independent creators are not doing enough to get people interested. I mean, people, they seem to kind of lean heavily on promoting online. You know how many things how many things people are bombarded with online.
Yep.
It's like, buy this, buy that, and it's not personal. It doesn't feel like they're connecting with anybody.
Exactly.
And people think, well, people have thousands of eyes on my book. No, it's not that. People like that scumbag youth in Van Skyver get a huge audience because they know how to like lie to them and get them to believe whatever they're saying, and plus they know they're a name even though they're not as big as they used to be.
I mean, like, carry on. Sorry.
They scam others to thinking that, oh, this is the only way to do it, and no, that's not the only way to do it. If everybody's jumping online, then you don't stand out.
Yeah, but like, their way of standing out is by causing drama, right? And
right. That's another thing they're doing. But I mean,
and attacking people.
Yeah, everybody's jumping online to promote their book online, and you don't stand out because everybody's doing it online. Which is, you should still do things online, but there's a whole real world, the kind of like events and such that you should go to. Right. But
well, I get, and that's the whole.
So like all these books and da da da. People don't give a shit because it's just another thing they're being bombarded with online.
And I 100% agree with that. That's why, I mean, my whole purpose has been to build a universe of books, right? So that we have different books for different ages. So you got all ages here. You've got a teen plus, R18, mature reader because of blood and gore, and then also probably mature reader, bit spicy because of not the story but just some content. And then of course you've got a teen plus horror book, right? So that when I go in, like when I have all these books at the end of next year out, I can take all these 7 books as well as my team get wherever they go. If they get the back books themselves, we go out and we go to a convention, we have all these there with all the cards, with all the posters, with all the stickers for each one, with the stand, because I'm looking at making an Incredible Funko Pop stand. Like I've got a design that I did for her way back when we first released issue 1, where I'm going to actually make her as a out of foam, so I can actually take it apart like a Lego, so that I can put it, pack it up and put it up on the side, on the floor in front of my table, right, instead of my stand, and have a wall, like a, what is it called, a backdrop, because I actually have a backdrop of Incredible and of Red Dot, which we haven't even released a book on yet, right? So this came out, when we put this out, 2004, right? We actually delivered it before February 2004, and we delivered it in 2023, I think. So we're talking about like toys and stuff. This is what I was gonna make this out of foam, and there's another idea, guys. You can actually, I was trying to figure out how I'd make a Lego Incredible, right? So that I could actually have a physical 1 meter tall or 1.5 meter tall Lego Incredible made out of foam that I cut up and paint up, and that I could actually, put together as a display piece to when people are walking past, they can go, wait, is that Lego? I go, yeah, it's Lego. I made it myself, my character, right? So when we were doing the 3D images way back in 2023 prints, it didn't work out the way we wanted because, I wasn't, I was just learning about it, but we got paid someone to, $100 US to design it for us. But we got our backers the books. Actually, I should get a t-shirt done as well for that. But yeah, so we didn't get to, we didn't get the big money that we were hoping because it was our first thing. But we have a delivered product, right? We delivered our product, and we delivered it like about a month late or something. But we got it before, we said we were going to get it. And we only got $1,100, I think it was $1,181 out of 38 backers. But this is our book that went out, and we're going to get issue 2 out soon. So we do have a track record from PlungeComics to getting a book out. The reason is you don't see that is because we did it through our publisher, right? And I've mentioned that, and for that reason, I actually, when I put this Howler campaign together, I made sure to mention that we do have a track record, which I didn't do originally when we did the 2-in-1, right? So I think it's in here or something, somewhere I say like the exit FAQ thing, and where we're working, we've already started working on it, where we're based, whatever. I think, yeah. So tell you who's distributing. So these books are coming out from the US, right? They're getting made in the US, printed in the US. T-shirts getting printed and made in the US. Posters, cards, stickers, all being done there, right? And there's various reward tiers, and so you can check that out when we launch. But please hit the notify button, right? Because that way you'll get notified. Tim, do you got anything else to add before we finish here? Because I gotta go pick up my glasses. My eyeglasses arrived, dude.
Oh no, I don't got nothing to.
All right, so I will play the trailer on our way out, and I just want to thank you guys for hanging out with us, man. Like, it kind of threw me off because my body's been messing up this whole entire weekend. I which is right, like my focus isn't right there when that happens, because so I apologize for that if I'm mumbling in all over the place. But the other thing is that, like, I never noticed this before, but when you wear glasses and then you don't wear them, your eyes are like always in and out of focus. And so for the last 17 days or something, I've been like just off kilter visually, and so it's kind of become like a, it doesn't work the way it visually should work. But yeah, I just found myself a bit off as well. And then, like, yeah. So I'm glad my Converse, right, the Converse 1-star shoes, which I love. So I bought, I got the designer eyeglasses from Converse as well. These beautiful blue things, and I'm really, really excited to go check them out. So hopefully, when we launch, you'll see me on camera, because I've set my new TV screen up for monitor up, so I can actually see what I'm doing on the screen. Whereas I haven't been doing that because the other one died. So I spent, I think it was $30 US. Bought a second-hand one. I think it's about a 38-inch or something like that, flat screen gamer monitor that was like, $59 New Zealand, but it's only $30 US. Might even be less than that. So I had to set that up, got that all set up, and then there, I've had a webcam for forever, and that's just been sitting there. And I spent like, I think about $200 on that, 300 New Zealand. Or was it 400? Something around that. A couple of years back, and it's just sitting there, right? And I'm like, I should use it, but it's like, just because I've been busy, it's like I don't want to go and set up in front of them thing when I can actually do everything, with the setup that I've got already. Working across two monitors, where now when I do the live screen on the webcam, it's only one monitor, it's only small, and it's going to be annoying trying to figure out that whole process again. So thank you guys for hanging out with us today. I really appreciate you guys and just showing up. Please, for the love of all that's holy, can you please share out the link to our campaign? You never know who might be interested, right? This is a teen plus book, right? There's no nudity or anything like that in there, nothing to upset some, people. And it's, I think it's a cool book. It's a long book. It's one of our longest books that we're going to be releasing. Like I said, issue 2, we're already like about 4 or 5 pages in. We planned issue 2, like we worked it all out before we even started issue 1 artwork, because I want to make sure that we, because it goes back to 200 years ago back in Italy. So it's got to gel. All the characters to look the same, right? The way they need to work with this world. It is a really cool book because it deals with like human legends, creatures of human legends. So you'll see creatures show up in this that are actually part of human, cultures. You'll see a nine-tailed fox from Japan. You'll see a Valraven from Norway. Stuff like that. And a Fossigrim, from Denmark, I think it is. And there's so many more creatures I want to bring into our Plunge Universe version of that. The cool thing is that I just realized that a typo. This is what you get when you're like in the middle, you're working hard out, you can't see anything wrong. But look, guys, right here, I want to point it out, and I want to fix it, right? That's why it's right there. It's got 2 C's. Completed. Ready to print. Anyway, just as well I'm not launching today, right? Get to fix all the errors and beforehand. But yeah, I will see you guys next time. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it, man. I actually want to have a good discussion with you later on, one-on-one sometime.
Okay.
But yeah. Now, anything else you want to say goodbyes, whatever you want to add to that? Because you do have
No, I'm just going to be at RetroX next month. I'm going to be there on the 12th.
You got a link for that, dude?
If you're in Idaho Falls, I could send you the link, sure.
Yeah, let's share that out. Because, I mean, there might be some people in Idaho, right, or nearby, who might actually themselves want to take their books there. So, more the merrier. I mean, not even if it's not books, you could, whatever you do, be a part of, just go do something there. I miss going out to events. It's just I'm giving this like 90% of my time, right? So when you're working on 7 different books, you are, you are answering emails, messages, chat, everything all the time. So it can be a bit. Let me also share our because
apparently they only have it's easier to find it on Facebook.
Okay.
I think you can have an app or something. Contracts or something like that.
Yeah, can you put that in the private chat so I can do a search for I just read my brain.
That's where I can find it. I don't know if you can find a website for it, and I could look.
I don't know. I mean, just put the actual Facebook link in the private chat so I can copy paste it into Facebook.
Oh, okay.
And so I can bring up the Facebook.
It's weird. It just says Facebook.
Yeah, it just says Facebook. I'm like, yeah, I want the link, not Facebook.
Yeah, I know, it's retarded.
So yeah, while that's happening, I'm going to share the invite to our where are we? It is that one. Okay, so invite to our Discords. Like I said last time, I didn't realize that they change it or it gets cancelled or whatever after a little while. So here's the latest link for the Discord, and it's free, guys.
It just says Facebook. So I guess you're just gonna have to you highlight it in the chat.
Hold on, Idaho Falls Retro X. Okay, I'll search it that way.
Yeah. God dang sons of a bitches.
Really? Is that what you think it is? You don't think it's
تكنولوجيا عشانها تكنولوجيا
You don't think it's that?
I guess so.
I'm looking for it. Hold on. So Idaho Falls. I gotta spell this right. Idaho Falls Retro X. Or is this called Retro X? But it's probably white.
I have.
Yeah, it's always something weird with
Oh,
with
and Instagram. If people are on Instagram, there's the Instagram thing.
Yeah. We have an Instagram, but I hardly ever use it. I do it every now and then.
Oh, okay. Here you go. Here you go.
I found it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, here it is, guys.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. See, I got to it at the same time you got to it, even though you had the link.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next weekend, next month, sorry, 13th to 14th. Man, why am I looking backwards? 12th to the 13th, Elks Lodge, Idaho Falls, Albert Street.
Yep.
That's a pretty cool design. I like that. the robot, the cute little robot. So there's a few things happening. Jam,
Yeah, probably the voice actress or something.
yeah, of Ariel, later to become Elita 1. There's others from the past ones they've done, right? So these are past ones. Most recent swap meet is going on there as well. All right. Is that Pepe? Oh, it's that cosplayer. I was going to say, is that Pepe Livestockers? No. So they've got a bunch of people that they're promoting there. So yeah, if you're there, go check it out. A link is in the chat for that. Facebook, which is there. Is that the one? Yeah, that's the one. Okay. Farewell, guys. All the best. Do you got to say something before we're on the way out, Tim?
Nope. Nope. Not
All right. Okay. This is the Howler trailer, and then we'll finish off. Thank you, guys. Have an awesome week until we see you next time, wherever you are. Be awesome. Like, subscribe, share, and all that stuff. Leave a comment. Whatever, wherever. Thank you. Be well.
Born under the moon and its silvery light, offered to the night sky where I was born. The family gathered to welcome the newborn. His eyes open to the moon. I stare out at the sky. Born under a silver moon, its curse closed within. Born under a silver moon, its light burns my skin. Howling in the moonlight, screaming in the darkness, fearful of the wild ones, making the animals hide. Prowling in the night, like a long lost soul, searching for your home as your skin turns cold.
Nope, 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 nope. I can't stay here anymore. I gotta get back.
I think this was the spot. Oh Lord, I beseech thee, please return me to my old life. I swear I'll do anything. Like, literally anything. And I won't bother you again, so pretty please bring me back to life.